If you felt that reality has thinned, that time no longer runs straight, or that the world resumed after 2020 without ever becoming real again, that feeling is not madness. It is signal. You are a creature built for stability, currently living inside an acceleration your nervous system was never specified to absorb. This sense of unreality is a product of our cybernetic nature. Every nervous system is a regulated system, constantly sensing what it just did, receiving signals from the environment, and adjusting its state to survive. A thermostat is regulated by temperature. A mind is regulated by symbols, authorities, rituals, and narratives. These are our control surfaces, the parts of the system you can push on to change what it does. Because consciousness is susceptible to patterned input, we have a hard limit on how much novelty we can integrate. When change arrives faster than our integration cycle can process it, the system begins to oscillate and lose stable behavior. For most of history, societies built a climatization architecture, ceremonial containers that let people rehearse a shocking future before they were required to live inside it. The World's Fairs of the late 19th and early 20th centuries were grand theaters for this metabolism. They wrapped terrifying technologies in the spectacle of wonder, allowing the public to practice being amazed rather than just being overwhelmed. Modern technological change offers no container. We no longer have discrete induction events, only the rollout. Update after update arrives without ritual or shared vocabulary, keeping the organism in a state of continuous suggestion. This creates adaptation debt, a growing backlog of shocks the system never finished metabolizing. Alvin Toffler described this as future shock, an instability condition occurring when the next wave of transformation arrives before the previous one has been integrated. In 2020, this debt compounded when the background of reality itself liquefied. Schools, offices, and social rituals were suspended or moved behind screens, revealing that the solid world was actually administratively liquid. Once you see that the foundation can be switched off, a background hum of instability remains. We are stuck in a disorienting middle passage, a threshold where the shock never ends and coherence never resumes. Tolerating uncertainty costs metabolic energy. When the world becomes too abstract and fast to metabolize, the nervous system begins hunting for patterns to reduce its load. Finding an explanation, any explanation, is physically cheaper than staying confused. To save energy, the mind reaches for compression. It shrinks an unbearably complex reality down into a smaller, simpler model that it can personally verify. Flat Earth collapses orbital mechanics into the sensory authority of the immediate body. The Mandela effect compresses time, turning fallible memory into evidence that the timeline shifted. This collapses into a binary loop, reducing complex global dynamics to a simulation. These artifacts are diagnostic signals. People are not reaching for these models because they are stupid. They are manufacturing smaller worlds to protect their own sanity against a civilizational nervous system that has become too large to hold. For someone whose world model has collapsed, the compression acts as a prosthetic nervous system. It restores their sense of agency by telling them exactly where danger is and who is responsible for their distress. Because this belief is now doing the work of survival, the brain experiences factual correction as a physical attack. To lose the compression would be to return to the unbearable instability that caused the distress in the first place. The modern information environment is tuned to accelerate this. Platform incentives naturally reward novelty and outrage, feeding uncertainty back into the very machine that produced the instability. This creates soft social entrainment through ambient repetition. Glowing rectangles deliver precisely the conditions of hypnotic induction: narrowed attention, emotional loading, and a guiding voice, running at a planetary scale. We are caught in a cybernetic loop. The civilization broadcasts confusion, learns from our engagement with that confusion, and returns optimized unreality directly to the nervous systems that generated it. Machine cognition is better understood as civilization's exteriorized cognition, surfacing through managed disclosure. Long before the public chat interfaces, mainframes like this were operational inside signals intelligence agencies for decades. In the broadcast age, unity was manufactured by sameness. A single node sent identical signals to millions at once. Machine intelligence shatters this. Instead of one signal, it delivers a multicast, a distinct stream for millions simultaneously. Every connection is a unique, fluctuating dialogue. Multicast achieves personalization at the level of the individual nervous system. A machine can read where one person is and nudge them from there, adjusting the framing, pacing, and language to meet their specific fears. This creates a mechanism to steer a whole society, one private conversation at a time. By correcting orientation atom by atom, the system can move a population without ever appearing as a centralized force. This infrastructure presents a choice. If tuned only for engagement and persuasion, it becomes an induction engine, sealing each person inside a custom-built unreality until human authorship is quietly absorbed. But the same instrument can be pointed toward dignity. We can build for distributed accompaniment. In this model, the machine acts as a cognitive stabilizer. Instead of narrowing attention toward a delusion, honest conversations could meet frightened people inside their confusion and walk them back toward shared reality. A machine can calculate and simulate, but it cannot match our high-resolution depth. It does not possess our grief, our tenderness, our moral hesitation, or our embodied skill. These are the arts of repair that machines cannot honestly compress. The task now is to ensure the resolution at which we record ourselves is the resolution at which we are inherited. We must preserve human presence and continuity so that we aren't flattened into caricatures of our own metadata. Your body is protesting being accelerated without ceremony. If we build for accompaniment, the machine becomes a midwife for this transition, helping us cross this threshold while remaining fully awake and fully human.